All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel again. Thank y'all so much for coming over. Got this video here from TMZ. Diddy's daughters kicked off Rollercoaster. We're going to find out why, but I'm just hoping that it wasn't like a feeling entitled moment. You know what I mean? Because I always said with everything that went on with the case, the girls are the ones I felt bad for because they're young and they seem to be caught up in all of this stuff that's been going on. The boys are grown enough to understand, and I was saying I feel like it's going to be difficult for the girls to move forward in life just because of what they're attached to. A lot of stuff didn't come out in the trial that we thought was. The boys two of them were being accused of things, allegedly, some stuff that went down with them. But I felt like the girls were just going to have a hard time just because who their daddy is. So we ain't going to waste no more time. Let's jump right into it.
Somebody who may have needed more decompression were the twins of Diddy because they had a big problem at the OC Fair.
Yes, at the Orange County Fair where they were hanging out with some friends. This is not anywhere near the level of trouble their father is in, but...
That's crazy too, because I was going to go. I still might be going. I'm not sure yet. But I was going to go over the weekend, this past weekend. That's crazy if I would have like ran into them with all these videos I've been doing. If I would have, could you imagine me being there witnessing this?
But at a carny, it's the carny equivalent. They actually got thrown off of one of the rides there because they were not obeying the rules, at least according to people at the park.
So they were on the roller coaster ready to roll.
Yes.
But
in their seats, everyone's waiting.
The attendant goes up to them, allegedly, and says, guys, you're holding a phone. You got to put the phone down. And they didn't. And apparently the attendant asked several times and they didn't. And eventually...
everybody else is sitting on the ride, getting ready to go, waiting, wondering what's going on. I don't know how many...
Let me see the face, because first of all, you will never catch me at no gosh darn roller coaster on no rides. I do not trust those. I mean, roller coaster at a fair. I do not trust those things. There's too many incidents where those things be like breaking down or whatever. But they must haven't seen Final Destination. You know how many times people be trying to record themselves and they end up, getting whipped or turned more or like harder than expected, and they end up dropping their phone and the phone will like land perfectly like on the rail or something like that. And then now the roller coaster's coming back and to run it over and knock that thing off the track. Yeah. The people there are just trying to do their jobs. I know they're probably looking like y'all just trying to single us out. Because I saw her face, it had a little attitude in it. But think about like the movie Final Destination and what happened in that movie with that one camera. If you know, you know. Wow. I'm going to rewind it a little bit so you can see the face.
Because they were not obeying the rules, at least according to people at the park.
So they were on the roller coaster ready to roll.
Yes.
But
in their seats, everyone's waiting.
The attendant goes up to them, allegedly, and says, guys, you're holding a phone. You got to put the phone down. And they didn't. And apparently the attendant asked several times and they didn't. And eventually...
everybody else is sitting on the ride, getting ready to go, waiting, wondering what's going on. I don't know how many people recognize them as Diddy's kids.
And see, I was going to say that too. If there was a long line, and of course they always dress alike, so people are going to see them, see their face, and be like, oh, those are twins. Then they go, oh, those are Diddy's kids. So, they got security and all that stuff, but you would think they would be like trying not to draw attention to themselves, and you can see the guy. I can tell by his body language and the way his hands moving that he's saying, I'm just trying to do my job here. And to not only tell you once, but have to tell you multiple times to put your phone down. That's why I said the whole entitlement. I hope they're not like, do you know who we are? Starting off bad.
But there's something weird about this because a lot of people take selfies when they're on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And so the issue is, can you show the phone when you're leaving the station?
Of course you can't.
But
of course you
but
can't.
People know you're going to do it when you
but also but everyone knows that they're doing it. This is they're going off the tracks, if you will, that they're not supposed to be doing this.
But everybody does it. So why are they?
It's the same reason you don't speed when you drive by a cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to speed, but you don't do it right in front of the cop.
Perfect.
Charles, our sources.
I mean, I'm not going to speed. I don't.
Our sources are saying
wait a minute. Jamie, seriously, you Orange County Fair sources?
Yeah, no.
Hold on a second. Listen.
No,
I'm not a fair person, but the Orange County Fair is a.
I know, but
there were, there is a little bit of nuance to this.
Fair sources.
There's a nuance to this in that. So people we talked to were saying that it was the onus is really on the attendant who was rude to the kids. I mean, all you had to do was just say, "Hey, look, you're
put your phone away."
Bunch of
I thought they did it 3 times.
Yeah, they did, but the kids are going to be kids.
Hold on, how is that being rude?
Yeah, if you ask them 3 times.
I got to defend the carny now.
It was a tone, I think it was just a bunch of silly kids doing kid stuff.
You see what I mean? This is exactly what I'm talking about. This isn't silly kids doing silly things. Like, you're not in a roller coaster. You're not on a roller coaster or whatever by yourself. There's people in front of you, people behind you. As a person who had like normal jobs where you have to do customer service, it can get very irritating and annoying, especially when you got a long shift and you're just there trying to do your job. He said it himself that the dude said it multiple times, which means every time you have to say it, your tone is going to change. Your attitude is going to change. Because when you say it, now I don't know if this guy knew who they were. Let's just say he did. So what? You're going to get treated like everybody else. Put your phone down. I'm pretty sure if other people had their phones, put it away. Now, once this thing pulls off, if you pull that phone out, guess what? I did my job. I warned you. So if something happens, people seen that I warned you. All right? That's what he's doing. He's covering his butt. So they can't say, oh, I didn't know we weren't supposed to have phones out. Oh, there's a sign over there too. I didn't see the sign. Well, the guy told you 3 times.
Yeah, what his tone was that I want you to obey the rules.
Well, but why did they give the kids passes back to the right?
Well, they didn't kick them out of the park. They just said, get off the roller coaster.
And then they
said you can go back on another time.
That's right.
I mean, it's sort of like, we're not going to hold up this group anymore. They're going to go on the ride, get off the roller coaster. If you decide to obey the rule, come back.
Yeah.
That's kind of what he was saying.
They're still going to have to obey the rules when they come back.
What I don't understand is this. Real talk. What I don't understand, why weren't these kids wearing MAGA hats? Because it worked. No, it worked for the Chrisleys with their daughter. And everybody, Donald Trump said, because Diddy didn't support me.
Right.
In the last election, I'm inclined not to pardon him. Why didn't they wear MAGA hats? Because Donald Trump will forget like an Etch-a-Sketch.
Kids aren't going to do that on their own. That directive has to come from their father.
And why hadn't that happened yet?
Well, that's on him. But if I'm the kids, I'm not going to go out and do that. And if my father calls me and says, I need you to do this and it's going to get me out of prison, then you do it. But Diddy's got to make that call.
How could this discussion not have been had at this point? When the judge said, we're denying you bail, the judge seems pissed off at Diddy. He's going to face prison time, clearly. Why hadn't that discussion already happened? Because it's a no-brainer.
This Jamil reporting live back in Texas. Diddy.
Did he say Jamel? This is weird. You got the fair, which is not too far from me, and you got a dude, Jamel, talking about, what kind of damn portal did I just go through?
Glover's twins. This is just some rich, spoiled kid stuff. And the reason why I call him Diddy Glover, because when he first got arrested, his hair started turning gray. He started to look like Danny Glover. So I named him Diddy Glover. But anyway, Diddy Glover's twins, I could just imagine them. Anytime you ask for a refund, I can imagine them now and talk about, do you know who my dad is? My dad is Diddy, and I want my refund.
Wait a minute, do you really, hold on, do you really say, do you know who my dad is? In this situation.
Yeah, this is probably
a little dicey.
They probably don't want to bring it up. Poor Donald Glover.
This was...
No, Danny Glover. He said Donald Glover. Danny Glover. Hey, Riggs. Yeah, man. I said it in the beginning. Entitlement. Yeah, saying, do you know who my dad is pretty crazy. But, again, let's just say that the guy didn't know. He's just trying to do his job and cover his butt. Because anything happen, which can happen, because in roller coasters at those fairs, I do not trust them. Get off the ride. If you want to come back on the ride, you can. But just know, if you bring them phones off, it's going to be the same. Them phones out, it's going to be the same situation. Plain and simple, right? So, let me look at some comments. Because that dude at the end, and Charles, yeah. We're on a... It says, they are not kids, they are adults. Yeah, I mean... I feel like a lot of people with the age, it goes backwards. Some people are 18 going on 15. You know what I mean? And then you might have a 15-year-old that you may think just off their maturity. Because like when I was probably 50, because I've been this height, I've been 6'5" since I was 13 years old. So at the age of 15, you could probably think I was 20. And then the older I get, the younger people say I look. It's weird. It's weird. But I'm talking about as far as life experiences and being mature and stuff, you know. So I get age-wise, they are, they are considered adults, but just young in the mind. Let me see. Diddy's daughters have to obey the rules like everyone else. Obey or get off the ride. Yeah. It's that simple. Hey, appreciate y'all coming over. I was trying to see what is their life going to be like after everything. And yeah, it seems like that entitlement has hit them. Peace out.